Hey, this is Jeremy Kern with Village Redevelopment. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. These are some of the most influential books that I've read over probably the last 10 or 20 years. And I'm constantly surprised. I'll reference them to my friends, and I'm constantly surprised how many people have heard of them and maybe think it would be important to read it, but have never picked up the books and taken the time to read it or even the cliff notes. So I kind of wanted to go through all of them a little bit, I haven't read them in a long time, so these are my bullet points of what was most important to me and what I took away from it, and then maybe talk a little bit about how we've applied it in our life to have a more abundant life with less financial stress, and how that continues to evolve. It's not perfect yet, but kind of just wanted to go through it and give you the short bullet points of each one and what I think or my main takeaways anyways. Number one, it's kind of a dated book, but it still has so many great points in it. The 4-Hour Workweek by Ferris. Really, it's about creating systems and automation to run your business with less of your physical input and time, so that you can create, and also to create enough income so that you can have freedom of time and place, so that you're not having to go to a physical location to do work and spending time to earn that money, giving you more freedom of time and place. And, enough time and income to enjoy your life along the way with many retirements. Because most people, the default path has always been to work really hard and then retire, but we know that not everybody makes it to retirement. So his slant was to enjoy the time along the way while you're healthy, while you can have fun, and create a muse business that can create enough income to where you can enjoy your time and space along the way, which I enjoyed that a lot. And I'll get into kind of how we've used some of this. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I mean, it's kind of a seminal work. I can't tell you how many people said, "Oh, I thought I should read that," but they never did. It's written by Kiyosaki. The basic premises are creating multiple income streams so that you're not as dependent on your professional income or your work income, and can invest it in other things. And then the transition from being an employee, trading time for money, to an entrepreneur, where you're using leverage to create systems in a business that can generate more income with less of your work, to transitioning into an investor where you're simply investing capital to get returns and to create change, or however you want to do that. I mean, in my opinion, I would like to take the money and invest it in something that I feel like is going to either, make a return, but maybe make the world a better place as well. So that's always been super appealing to me. And, just transitioning from trading time for money, going to a job, trading your time for a certain paycheck, to investing and making residual money with that income, making the money work for you. So that's a really abbreviated summary of what it was about, but I mean, those are the main talking points that I really took from it. Number 3, The Education of Millionaires by Michael Ellsberg. Really what I took from it was that, if you can master sales and marketing, sales is the gateway to entrepreneurship. And if you can master sales and marketing, nothing really can stop you. So I don't care if you don't really have much of an education, if you didn't grow up in the best household, if you have a hunger and you're willing to work and you're willing to learn and master sales and marketing, nothing can really stop you. You can get a job almost anywhere, not necessarily based on your degree. Degrees can help, but if you're motivated and you're willing to sell and learn to sell and can be aggressive, you can really get your way into anything and bridge into creating your own company. There's a lot more to it probably than that. There were a lot of interesting examples, but those were the main takeaways I took from that. And I think that is interesting because over the last 20 years, so much emphasis has been placed on you have to have a degree. That's the only way you're going to succeed. You need to get a master's degree. But I don't necessarily, education is good and lifelong learning is good, but I don't think that is going to hold you back if you're willing to dig into sales and marketing and learn and be aggressive. Number 4, Set for Life by Scott Trench. This is a book from the Bigger Pockets Publishing. It mainly talks about, living below your income level, striving to save 20 to 50% of your income. Much of that is done by leveraging house hacking, which we've done both rent hacking and house hacking. Even when I used to have a rental apartment, I would generally rent the apartment myself and then rent the spare room for more than half of the money to somebody else and get my own tenant so that I could live cheaper even in a rental scenario so that we could save more money to invest in our first properties. And then continuing to live below your income, investing to create a life of abundance with less financial stress. And generally he's just, the biggest expenses in your life are generally housing and your car. So if you can house hack your way into not having a mortgage or not paying rent, it really becomes easier to save bigger portions of your income, at least, or even mitigating a lot of it. And generally that's like you would buy a bigger house, rent out all the rooms to your friends so you could live for free or cheap. We've basically bought a duplex and then turned it into a fourplex, and we were even living pretty inexpensively in the duplex, renting one and living in the other. And then once we turned it into 4 units, we're literally living close to or mortgage free certain months. So that's also allowed, even without upping your income drastically, you can save so much more of what you're making to truly make a difference and get ahead. And whether you're investing in the stock market or more real estate, literally you can go from one duplex to another duplex to a fourplex using these low down payment, first-time home buyer loan programs or fixer-upper loans again and again and again. As soon as you refinance, you can use another one as long as you're willing to live in the property. So that can be a great way to get ahead and create abundance in your life without having to make every last dollar at your career job. And then number 5, I haven't read it in a long time, but it always seems to be something that's in the top of my mind, is The Art of Non-Conformity by Guillebeau. I may be killing his last name a little bit. But he basically talks about blogging your way into business, creating content to further monetize and grow your business, creating, in my opinion, an evergreen sales and marketing force that's constantly selling your product with your content and your blogging, and multiple income streams. That from that content and blogging you can create newsletters, a consulting service, or a physical product that you could sell, and really focusing on your passion, because ideally, your business should revolve around your passions or hobbies. Otherwise, you're going to burn out. So you want it to ideally revolve around something that you're excited about or interested about, that you'll continue to show up and work, year after year, day after day to build up. So beyond that, I've read a lot of books, but these always seem to be the 5 pivotal books that I've read that have really affected my mindset. And, basically we took it, I was a sales rep for a company called Unishippers. Then I got laid off in 2008. Wasn't very pleasant, but I took the opportunity to start my own logistics and warehousing business. And now we have a team of 7 people that help us market, sell, and grow that. I'm doing a lot of content marketing now. I did all the sales and marketing myself for years and years and years. We've been doing this about 16 years now. I have about 20 years in that business. We leveraged that money to invest in real estate. And we bought our first duplex with about $15,000 down, even in San Diego County. I actually owed taxes that year, and instead of paying my taxes, I put it all down on our first duplex and went on a tax plan. And by the time I was done paying off my tax plan, our duplex was worth several $100,000 more. So we took that duplex, and I found out the lot was zoned for 4. I really wanted to start redeveloping and designing and building communities. So we turned it from a duplex to a 4-plex of my own design. And that basically, in most scenarios I look at, 3 units will pay for the 4th unit. So that has allowed us to live basically mortgage free or close to. And then you can multiply that money if you don't have lifestyle creep like most Americans do, and save more of what you're making, even if your income's not going drastically up. We've always made a pretty decent income with the logistics and warehousing business, Easy Logistics, but as long as you're not spending more and more of the money that you're making, which is kind of a American thing, you should be able to reinvest it and double down into more businesses or more freedom of time and place. And I mean, the sky's really the limit. It all just depends on what you're excited about, what you're passionate about, and you know, what people will pay you to do. So these are the 5 books that have really created my unique mindset on how we run our businesses. I even use the same phone system from the 4-Hour Workweek. We have virtual assistants overseas, which was another recommendation of Tim Ferris's, that help us run the back office of our business and allow us to take more time off if we need to. And if my employees want to take breaks, we're overstaffed so that they can take that time. So I don't know, I wanted to share this with you. These are some of the really great ideas that have helped us get ahead, and it's not to say that I have it all figured out. We're still building our savings. We're still investing in real estate. One other thing I forgot. I mean, you could, instead of investing in real estate, you could invest in the stock market too, but I think the returns are better in real estate long term. But I mean, we generally just put some of our money into an S&P 500 index fund and just let it ride, because I don't really have enough time to be researching the whole stock market and picking individual stocks. So that's a great way to just automate your investing in the stock market. And that generally yields 8 to 10 to maybe 15% return annually, over time and compounding. So a lot of great strategies. If you have any questions or any other ways that you've maybe used some of this knowledge, or maybe I made a mistake, feel free to put it in the comments. But I wanted to share some of these most important books that I've read, and hopefully it'll inspire you to pick them up and read them. And if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me. My email is jeremy@villageredevelopment.com, and my phone number is 619-885-8188. Hope you're having an awesome week, and feel free to reach out anytime. Talk to you soon.